I would like to, for the record, add that if it's a special use permit and the property changes and it's not used for that, then it goes back to its original C2 and it no longer carries that.
Yes, the special use is specifically for the self-storage only. So they would have on this piece of property or whatever piece of property comes from the special use, it is only tied to that piece of property.
And as I said last meeting, I'm the one that said that last meeting, I'm comfortable with doing the blocks of I-1s and middle C2s around and everything. We end up, because once we zone that, it's zoned. And there you go. And anything that will go in an I-1 will go there. I was uncomfortable with that extreme.
You could essentially have a chicken rendering plant, so no one follows it out.
This, I think, is a better way. I just like this idea. Tim, again, told you last meeting, I appreciate y'all working with us and pulling that down so that we can go back and look at it. I think this is a good thing. I'm anxious to hear what the council's got to say, and I'm opening up for questions. Anybody? If not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to send to full council.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Second. Got a motion, second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
All right, thanks, guys. Kim, thank you. Lauren, thank you. Our next one is another mayor. Mayor, you've got an appointment to the Parks and Rec Commission.
Yes, sir. This appointment is Mr. Chad Morrow. He's with us tonight, sitting on the front row. This was brought to us by the Parks and Rec Commission. His bio is in the packet, and he's here to say hello, and then he'd like to be on the Parks and Rec Commission, here for any questions. Also, Chairman Sled and Director Travis Young are here too, if you need to speak with any of them. So,
Travis, you agree, got anything to say? Chad, you want to say anything, sir?
Good evening. My name is Chad Morrow. My wife and I have 3 children, age 11, 9, and 6. All 3 have been part of Cabot Parks and Rec in some capacity. I've served as a coach, assistant coach, over the past 6-7 years. I enjoy coaching. It's a passion of mine. And I always tell my kids that it's not about winning or losing for me. It's about development and teaching them how to persevere. When it's a bad call, we're going to whine about it. No, we're going to figure out a way to win as a team. And so that's something I enjoy doing. As far as kind of what I do personally, I own a medical supply company in Conway called Baker Medical. I've been doing that for almost 15 years now. And it's handle CPAPs, so that's kind of our bread and butter. But yeah, I'm looking forward to serving. So if you have any questions or concerns, I'm here.
Anybody got any questions, comments, concerns, Chad? And I need a motion.
Make a motion to send recommendation for approving Chad Morrow to the Parks and Rec Commission.
Second. I got a motion, second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Chad, thank you. We will deal with that at our meeting here that will follow this. Tonight, we will see who's coming up tonight. So,
Thank you very much.
stay, have a seat, please. Mayor, thank you, sir. That concludes mine.
okay. Any comments from the public, we will leave to the end after we went through all committees. Our next committee is the Budget Personnel Committee. Chairman Steve Red.
Mayor, we've got a resolution to adopt the annual operating budget for calendar year 24, presented by yourself, so if it's okay with the council, I'd like to call up each department heads, let them kind of go through theirs, and then any comments, council, we can do after that candidate, after that department head comes up, okay?
Yes, sir.
So the first one I'd like to call up is Mr. Matthew Hood.
Good evening, City Council. I'm going first, since in charge of the salaries and benefits, which stretch across all departments. The government, Social Security, came out with the COLA this year at 3.2%. So what we're doing in our budget is doing 3.2% or the $2,000, whichever is more, which is something we've done in the past, trying to raise our bottom line for some of those who aren't making as much. Also baked into this is a project we've been working on for about a year. One for police and fire, which is to get them to appropriate ranges whenever they promote. In the past, it's just been a little flat amount and really hasn't put them where they need to be. So we worked closely with a third party, both chiefs. They're happy with it. Likewise, on the non-uniform side, getting everyone put in a grade. So again, we can appropriately place people where they need to be, put them in the right market value, that sort of thing. As far as benefits go, I want to take a second to brag on the city, our leadership here. The year before last, it's 2021, we got a 10% increase. It was a little less than $100,000. And so looking at the numbers, we realized that the old insurance plan we had wasn't very sustainable. We felt like over the next 3, 4, 5 years, we were going to continue to get those 10% increases. And so had we not made a change, we were looking at another 10% last year, which would have been roughly another $100,000. Instead, we worked with the Municipal League, JTS, Charles Angel, who lives here in Cabot, and we piloted the high deductible plan, which is what a lot of private insurers have. It was a big success. It saved us from an increase. We actually got a huge decrease, which we were able to use for the employees in their HSA accounts. I'm actually on the Municipal League Health Board, one of 5 people, and I can tell you now, unless you're at flat 100%, you're getting those 10% increases, which can be $100,000, $120,000, $130,000. So we've avoided that, and now that plan's offered throughout the state. There's many cities switching to it. I won't say their name, but one major city our size has switched, and they're saving over $500,000 by doing so. So proud that we were able to push that through. The only thing on the insurance, no matter what plan you had, no matter who you are, there was a small dental increase because they added some extra benefits to that. That came out to about $25,000 to $30,000, and that's baked into that as well. And then finally, with workers' comp, a few years ago, we saw a chance to go to the private industry instead of the municipal league, and we were able to save about $10,000 or $15,000. And it was great, but as time goes on, just the cost of doing business, injuries, that 3 or 4 years ago would have ran us about $30,000 or $40,000 against our premium, are costing $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 now, and there's just nothing we can do about it. So we are going back to the municipal league, but even going back to them at their lower rate to get us back, it was still about $40,000 increase for us with workers' comp. And that's something that probably over the next few years may continue to go up a little bit until we can kind of even out. So other than that, we didn't really add too many positions. Fire, we added that last rover position, so they'll have 1 extra spot for A, B, and C shift. And then in our street department, we added another mechanic job because we've had the same mechanic for 20 years. And those just don't grow on trees, and he's a little stretched out, so we want to make sure we had the appropriate man hours there taken care of. So it's kind of everything in a nutshell for you. It's all there. If anyone has any questions, I'll go into as much detail as you want. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Council, Ms. Maggie, have any questions for Matthew?
Maggie, you have any questions for Matthew?
If she doesn't, then I go.
You're good, Matthew, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Next up, Mr. IT himself, Mr. Roger.
Okay, good evening, council. Get to follow up Matthew's very verbose presentation with not a lot to happen next year for us. It's a pretty tame year for IT budget this coming year. Really, the biggest project we got going on monetarily next year is we've got a lot of upgrades we have to do for our PC inventory across the city. I usually try to spread that out in thirds. We've got about roughly a third of our fleet set to be repaired or replaced next year. So it's about all, I mean, in drastic changes for us. Most of it's pretty across the board and flat.
Council, any questions for Roger? Ms. Maggie, any questions?
I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
Is there enough in your appropriation for security of our IT system?
Yes, I mean, so we did make some adjustment this year. That is one of the projects next year is upgrading our antivirus type solution, everything for the city. It wasn't very monetarily expensive, so I didn't really throw it in as a product, but that will be upgraded next year. Also, this year, in this existing budget, we just upgraded all of our backup solution and we implemented a disaster recovery solution for the city, which basically replicates all of our server environment out to a site, it's off-site. So in the event of a disaster, we were able to spin those up and reconnect and get everybody working until we get everything back in line here. So that's an adjustment for next year because those services have ongoing costs. But yes, we do have that budgeted in as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Next up, the man that we still know how he does it all, Mr. Mike Wheeler, has about 10 acts, I believe, so Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you. I'll just go one at a time, if that's okay. We'll start with construction services. All three of the budgets are pretty much budgeted flat, just some increase for cost of goods with the new cost. The only thing in construction services, we had $10,000 last year for a used pickup truck. Obviously, used pickup truck for $10,000 don't exist, so we didn't spend it. This year, we bumped that to $20,000, and that's the big one. Other than that, we budgeted flat. Any questions on construction services? Okay. So if we go to the Peak Center, our senior center, or active adult center, budget cost of goods for, obviously food goods have gone up a little bit, but we've kept it same as last year. I think with our current cost, we're going to be fine. The only other increase in cost on that is a small kitchen remodel with the number of folks we have coming through and our number of meals we serve. For more variety, all we're doing is cooking on a 6-burner gas stove and a commercial oven. We're going to add a couple fryers and flat top. So any questions on the Peak Center?
Chairman, I have one quick question. I don't want to pull any of your thunder for your yearly report, but how many people are you servicing over there an average week?
Average week, we're averaging about 68 a day. For our Thanksgiving meal, we served 116.
So about 350 a week,
Yeah.
100 thereabouts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, any other questions on the Peak Center? All right, on animal services, the one big difference in this year and last year in the city is our money coming in and going out. We all know we're building a new animal support service center. We've been collecting donations and getting grants to help with the surgical side and other equipment. So that's been in our donation account. So this year you're seeing we're going to pull a couple $250,000 out of the donation account, put in general fund so we can extend it out and buy this equipment as we're building the new facility. So you'll see that's a big revenue, but also expense. It's just coming out of our donation account that's been sitting, waiting on us to spend it. Any further questions on that?
Kind of off subject, where was your last trip to for Cabot Animal Services?
My last trip for Cabot Home Services was Australia. Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Questions, Mr. Lewis, Council?
For the record, that was not paid for by the city.
Oh, yes.
That was paid for by an organization that asked me to speak as the only American presenter at the convention, which was a pretty awesome deal.
Yes.
So all you taxpayers out there watching, the city did not pay for Australia.
100%. I was invited as a representative of the city by 3 organizations in Australia, and they paid airfare, room, board, everything. So,
Chairman, I do have one question. Is Lyon College working with us on any of the future or the uses of those buildings as a partnership?
we currently have an MOU with Lyon College to where we are still in negotiations and working toward what we're going to provide them and what they're going to provide us in the future. But there is a partnership between us where our veterinary side and their veterinary school will work together in the full capacity. We haven't worked all that out yet, but we are the only partner with MOU at the current moment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any further questions, comments?
It was well annotated, so they.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stephen, Mike and I visited this afternoon, and I'm fine with the budget.
Absolutely. Next up, Chief Moore.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Fire department budget overall is flat to last year with a couple notable exceptions of our radio line item and our technology line. And a lot of the stuff that we had budgeted for this year, specifically for radios, I'm pushing most of that to next year, so that's why there's a little more increase there. As you know, in about 13 months, we're prepping to open up our PSAP here, and we're needing to do some extensive radio upgrades to get in line and be compliant. I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have on any other items there.
Council. Ms. Maggie, Council, any questions for Chief Moore?
Just a quick comment, I like the fact that they actually allocate decreases. You don't see that in too many areas. I mean, I appreciate the comments listed next to, especially police and fire animal services, commentaries in margin explaining either increasing or change or whatnot. So when I saw decreases,
Those are always good, right?
No further questions. Thank you, Chief
All
Moore.
right, thank you.
Next up, Mr. Police Department. For all of you that are listening, Chief Seeley is actually out this week. Actually went over with each and every one of us, to my knowledge of everything going on. Officer Lucas is here to address any questions. It is Lucas, right?
Yes, it's my understanding, Chief has spoken to most of y'all, but I'm here to try to answer any questions that y'all may have in regards to either line item changes.
Again, the details to the right with the comments are pretty good. Questions, comments?
I would like to make a comment. We do see in the line items and 911 expense, and I think that's the future where we'll have the emergency response area county center here. And that's in there to cover costs that we don't anticipate.
Any other council? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next up, Mr. Ben Hoover is up.
Good evening. You'll see that mine is very straightforward. If you would take a look at the middle recodification in Unicode, you'll see a substantial decrease in that. That is because Unicode, as well as everybody else in the world, is going to a subscription-based model. Previously, we had paid, that is codification for all the ordinances and resolutions that have been passed. It gets posted online so the public can see it. So it's out there. Before you said we would pay by the piece of legislation. They're now going to a subscription-based model. In theory, it would be good for larger cities like us. As you can see, last time we had a budget almost $14,000. It's kind of a moving target, I guess, but we were able to decrease that to the cost of the subscription. That is all in theory. Both myself and my wonderful paralegal Jessica spend a substantial amount of time just wrangling with me to go over issues. But in theory, this will work out for us. So that is the reason for that decrease. Kind of along with that, there's a small increase for legal publications. That is the cost to publish all these ordinances and resolutions that we do in the paper. It is a legal requirement. It's kind of a guess. It's a moving target. We don't know how much we're going to do every year. It's even, I'm sure you have been paying attention, done more this year than last year, more last year than the year before, which is a good thing. We're growing. You guys are passing a lot of legislation. There's a lot of projects in the community. As we get busy and as we grow, that number goes up. So it's gone up. It's a good thing. It reflects all the growth that's happening. Other than that, it's very straightforward. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Ben, on target on Unicode.
Yes, sir.
Codification's always been a monkey on our back. Are they working pretty well now? Is things as smooth as you expect it to be, or could it be better?
It could,
Always could be better.
it could be better. We have actually just last week, we had a long conversation with Unicode. We are hopeful that this new subscription model is going to work out. And there was some misunderstandings on their end. We think we have designed it out. So it is going okay. There's room for improvement, but it is going okay. I'll be frank with you, just because I thought we needed to. We looked around for replacements just to see, because at one point they had me aggravated enough, I was going to replace them. There is not a lot of options out there, especially given all of our many years of investments in Unicode. I don't mind presenting some of those to the council if you'd like to see them. There's not a lot there. I can get some prices to you, but for right now, considering the sunk costs we have in them, I'm hopeful that it will work out.
How is it handled? Are you handling that now in your office?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I bet you, Tammy, don't mind that bit. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, sir.
All right, I know that it was a struggle, but codification's always been a struggle. It always has been, so thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Council, any questions from Mr. President?
I did notice a slight increase in travel. That doesn't mean include any Australia trips.
It is, I'm not going to Australia. Actually, that is, I found out this last year, I have not been taking advantage. I am, and all of you are, along with our membership in the municipal league, we also have members in NLC, the National League of Cities. And we train every year. I've never taken advantage of that. So that reflects me finally taking advantage of that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Knowles?
Okay, on mine, the main increase that I figured there will be questions on are the capital expenditures. Just 2 months ago, I guess it was, I came and asked for a budget amendment to replace one of the code enforcement vehicles. We have done that. I have put in for next year's budget to replace the second one that we have. So that way we can make sure that nobody is stuck out in the city, because we are running off of a 2005 and I think a 2009 or 2008 vehicle code enforcement. So that is what my main capital expenditure is for. So other than that, just the minor increases, just the everyday working in the office. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Council, any questions for Mrs. Knowles?
I have one question. I noticed on the inspections, there's a sharp decline in revenues generated out of inspections. Is that something you anticipate?
The projected budget for this year, we were very optimistic on it. As we all know, the decrease in building has kind of started to slow. So I did kind of project that to sustain that as well. So
Remember too, we had a great hailstorm, which, everybody can do, so that should drop us some too. Thank you, Ms. Mills. Mr. Paul Ross?
Slight increase from last year's budget. If you'll notice, there's a mower in for the street repairs and also the drainage ditches and culverts, et cetera. Also the capital expenditures. We do have some aging equipment and vehicles in our fleet, such as a large excavator and our primary dump trucks, our larger ones, are probably a good time to be looking at one of those to get updated. Other than that, I'm open for any questions you have.
Roger, are you prepared to do traffic as well?
Sir,
Are you prepared to do the traffic one as well?
I can.
Okay. Let's go through this one first. Council, any questions, on the street first? Okay, you can address the traffic one first.
All right. Small decrease from last year's budget. And other than that, any questions you have?
Comments, questions, council?
So I had a question on the traffic signal maintenance improvements. Are we, the reason for that decrease, are we pretty much caught up on replacing with LEDs and our software for our signaling system?
I don't think we're completely caught up with that. I know there's,
Well, excuse me, it's a process where we got an outside consultant that's helping us with that. That was the traffic director at Conway for like 15 years. He's doing a great job doing inventory right now, figuring out where we are, and kind of putting us on a plan that we've never had before, that we can address different areas and fix traffic in certain areas and show a reduction in delay to the taxpayers. So it's a working process. Yeah, there's always going to be traffic expenditures. We're just trying to plan out what they would be in '24, but it's not caught up. No, sir.
I mean, I'm probably not the only one that receives multiple complaints about traffic through town, and so I want to be prepared to tell them that we are still working on it, but when I saw the decreases, I was just going to ask the question.
People just won't move. They want to stay here, so they want to come here. So we have a little problem. It's a good problem. Everybody's property taxes. That's the bad part. But your house values are going through the roof. So we got a good thing here in Cabot. But we're going to get that traffic better. I promise. I think we have the right team now.
Any more comments, questions? Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Last but certainly not least, Mayor Kincaid.
Okay, when you're looking at your sheet, you have the 2023 budget and the 24 budget. So you didn't see actual numbers. So like for travel, we actually spent $25,000 on travel, going to different conferences, going to ICSC, chasing some of these things you're seeing coming in the community, big items that you've seen. But we actually spent that in and that's why we budgeted flat for 25. Salaries, they're up because you have an IT generalist that started at the end of 23, or end of 22, and then an HR generalist that started at 23, so I added 2 more people to the payroll. Roger's assistant and Matthew's assistant. And other than that, I think everything's pretty flat.
Okay. And definitely last, Mrs. Yoder.
I as well have, some increases due to new employee. The custodian is under my office. So you will see that our salaries are increased, and also I have 2 new line items, gas and oil and vehicle expense. She's driving a car that was passed down from the PD. Typically, those cars are sold on an auction site. They range less than $1,000. But she's driving it to the other locations that she's cleaning and exporting out about, and those are my increases.
Any questions for the mayor or for Mrs. Yoder? Council, any questions on anything in the budget would like to address before we ask for a motion?
Yeah, on page 6, under general government, line 70320, bank fees increased from 4,000 to 22,000 and change. Is there a story there?
It's credit card processing fees. We changed from just a simple credit card processing to point of sales. And in several locations, and that those are the fees associated with that.
Okay.
Any other comments? Maggie, do you have any comments, questions?
No, sir, I'm good.
That being said, I'll ask for a motion to send to full council.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Tammy.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Stowe,
Yes.
Passes 3-0. Mayor, that's all I got.
Thank you, Chairman Red. As I said before, any community input we'll do at the end of the work session. Next up, Police and Fire, Chairman James Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. We don't have anything on the agenda for tonight's session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Next up, Community Development Committee, Chairman Ed Long.
I have any reports tonight, but Ben and I have been in conversation about the yearly reports and everything, so we're looking forward to those.
Thank you, sir. Military Affairs Committee, Chairman Ron Womack. Thanks, sir. General community input, now's the time if you'd like to address council on these items, please do so. Or a general item that you want to address for small business, you can go and come up here and do that now. If it's for an ordinance or something like that, we'll do it the next meeting.
My name is Gabriela Garcia. I am a Public Information Officer for the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. Now, the U.S. Small Business Administration is offering federal low-interest loans to homeowners, renters, private nonprofits, and businesses of all sizes because of the storms that occurred on June 25th through the 26th of this year. We have established a disaster loan outreach center over at the Lonoke County Courthouse Annex, and we are there offering personalized one-on-one assistance to anyone who may have questions or who needs help with filling out the applications. We are here to help, and we really hope that you take advantage of the experts' knowledge that we have over at the center. Many may not know, but the SBA is actually the largest source of disaster recovery funding available in the form of affordable loans. And these SBA loans can fill the gap between what insurance may cover and the cost of recovery. So allow me to highlight a few important points. There is no fee to apply and no commitment to take the loan if you are approved. But if you submit your application before the deadline, you'll have those funds available as an option. Now, the deadlines are for physical damage. It's going to be January 16th. And we have economic injury disaster loans. That deadline is August 19th. The interest rates are as low as 2.5 for homeowners and renters, 2.375 for private nonprofits, and 4% for small businesses. The loan terms can go up to 30 years, and there are no payments and no interest accrual for the first 12 months from the date of disbursement. Now, businesses and private nonprofits can qualify for up to $2 million to repair or replace physical damage, and homeowners may borrow up to $500,000 to repair or replace destroyed real estate. And homeowners and renters may borrow up to $100,000 to repair or replace personal property, including up to one vehicle. As I mentioned, we also offer economic injury disaster loans, which are for businesses and private nonprofits that maybe didn't have physical damage, but they suffered economic distress due to the storms. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I do want to drive the point of visiting us over at the Disaster Loan Outreach Center. Again, we have people that are ready to help, and everyone's circumstances are going to be different and unique, and we can tailor that support to help the individuals and the businesses in the community.
Did you say you'll be at the courthouse?
Yes, the county courthouse annex, so across the street from the courthouse.
Okay, gotcha. And do you have all this written down?
Yes, yeah, I've also left my business cards. I have a few flyers that I can provide, and we are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
If you leave us a flyer, we'll put it on our Facebook, and if you would talk to that man on the end, he's with the Leader newspaper, I'm sure he'll print something for you.
Oh, he's been great. They've already sent it up for us. Yeah, they're on it.
Jeffrey's the man.
We're here because of him. Yeah. But thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I motion to adjourn the work session?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from Stephen to adjourn the work session. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passed unanimously, ends at 7:19. Let's take a 5-minute break. Okay, and we'll be back for a council meeting.
We'll take a 5-minute break and get with the regular meeting soon. 5 minutes. We'll go walk around. I'm here on this vape. Yeah. Let me see if I can mute this as we're live. So let's see.